7:45. A very good morning to you. You're listening and watching Breakfast here on GB News with Stephen and Anne.
Let's go through the papers this morning with journalist Ella Whelan and Christopher Biggins, who's joining us just before
He's getting ready for Panto. Oh, no, he isn't.
Well, yes, I am.
Absolutely.
I'm off tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah, to Darlington.
What, rehearsals?
Yeah, we start rehearsal on Monday. I prefer to rehearse away from London because too many distractions.
Yeah. And who are you this year?
I'm Mrs. Smee in Peter Pan.
Oh, wonderful.
There you go. Tickets available online.
When you do... no, I've got to know that. When you do Panto every year, do you just have a wardrobe you can go to now of Christopher Biggin outfits?
Yes.
You do now?
I do.
So you have a staple wardrobe?
I do, and I used to have it in my loft, and then it got ridiculous because the loft got so full I couldn't have anything else in it.
They're big frocks.
They're big frocks.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what's great, I think, because I know a designer likes to have big people show off their costumes. And I mean, in this pantomime, for instance, in the finale, when I come down, I'm flying in as a chandelier. And it's a most wonderful costume.
You are the chandelier?
I'm the chandelier, yeah.
Oh, we have to see a picture of this.
I'll send you one.
Yeah. But you must have to have an entire house or stable block or something.
Yeah, well, I work for a company called Crossroads, and they have a huge wardrobe store.
Wow.
Because they do hundreds of pantomimes.
Oh, one day I want to go see one of those.
I know.
Is it Motel?
No, it's a terrible name, isn't it? Americans bought the company and they decided to call it Crossroads.
They wouldn't have understood the...
No, not at all.
Oh, well.
Anyway, look, let's crack off with the papers. Ella, looking at the Times. Stop tweeting and get on with the job.
Yes, this is to do with the police force and quotes from Stephen Watson, who's the Chief Constable in Greater Manchester. Someone who has commanded headlines previously because, I mean, for a very good reason, he turned around the police force in Greater Manchester, who was previously in special measures. He brought them up to scratch within 2 years. He's previously been known for, doing things like cracking down on uniform. He made his police force shave. He got them to hide their tattoos. He's generally someone who is taken a hard line in terms of discipline in order to bring the police force up to scratch, and there has been more prosecutions and less waiting time on 999 calls. And he's now gunning for police officers and forces that spend time on social media, doing things like he's had a pop at a fellow assistant commissioner who wore a menopause vest to understand the menopause better. And he basically is saying, get off Twitter and get back on the streets and do your job. This is, would be very welcome news to most people, because I think a lot of people are annoyed at the fact that police officers spend so much time
in a
quote-unquote virtue signalling is the phrase. But I think the interesting thing is, actually, by law, police officers are being told to spend time online increasingly, because if you have things like the online safety bill, or if you have legislation being brought out that says that certain things online are illegal, whether that's trolling or talking to politicians in a certain way on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, police officers are going to be expected to be sat on their phones looking at what you're tweeting about.
You've got to prioritise.
Of course, you've got to prioritise, but I think it's there's only so much that someone like Stephen Watson can say, and in actual fact, you have to look at what politicians are doing, who are kind of forcing police officers into the online world by saying that if you tweet, something nasty at someone, then you should have a knock on your door from a police officer. But in general, I think he's absolutely right that there's a kind of laziness in terms of police officers wanting to look good on social media and look like they're doing the job, and in actual fact, the hard job of catching criminals and, to use that cliche, is sort of less on their priority list.
I mean, interesting. Can I say, what's a menopause coat or whatever you said?
It mimics the idea of overheating.
So it's a heated thing.
It's a heated thing. I think it's got other things as well. It sort of mimics the idea of the general discomfort that a lot of women go through,
really?
So that they can understand the impact it has on you. It's not just a question of thinking, I'm feeling a bit, hot and dizzy. It's actually something that wears you down through the day at certain times and things. And it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But for the police to be spending time when I think we'd probably all much prefer.
Yeah. They were on the streets.
On the streets catching criminals.
Yes, in an ordinary outfit.
It's a difficult one to weigh out.
And also, it's, why do you have to know, why do you have to physically feel how bad it is? Believe me, I'm telling you it's bad. Do something about it.
Exactly, that's enough.
But it should be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a fair point. Look, we are actually a little bit time for time. So I've got to go to this, just in case we don't get a chance to otherwise. It's in the Mail, Christopher. Would you Adam and Eve it? The nudist night.
Well, I mean, this is a hysterical story. I mean, this is Would You Adam and Eve It, as you just said, and it's a pub. Acts as the nudist night by fears that motorists may be distracted by looking through the windows and seeing naked men and women. So they've been told they can't have it anymore. So, I mean, this is the Swan Inn, and it's hysterical. Keith Hiller Palmer, who's a naturist, is in a terrible state because they had to cancel the whole thing.
Yes, his knickers in a twist.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Hours. It's at the Swan Inn in Sandhurst in Kent.
Yes.
We're going to have this naturist night, and there's a picture of a previous one, I think, there. And they're worried. Why don't they just draw the curtains?
Frost the windows.
Exactly.
But apparently, I think people in the parish council and some other people have moaned about it a bit.
Well, why shouldn't they? I mean, I think it's terrible. If they want to go and sit in a pub, and the pub is happy for them to sit there and have dinner, they shouldn't. Whatever they want to wear.
And the pub owner has said we had a hard enough time during lockdown and during the worst of the pandemic, trying to get more, things going and more events going.
Yes.
Why should we have to cancel this one?
Exactly. I think it's a great shame. But anyway, I'm sure they'll find somewhere else.
Well, why don't they just draw the curtains? Then the motorists wouldn't even see.
No, tickets were £17 to £30, depending on how many courses guests wanted. That's interesting, isn't it?
Mind you, I don't understand naturists. I don't understand.
I don't.
Why would you want to go to the pub for an evening wearing nothing?
I know.
Especially if you're eating a hot meal. I mean, that's an excellent way to happen.
And dribbling.
I don't get the appeal of it, though. Why?
I just sort of
I don't think there's anything wrong with the human body, but I just don't get the appeal of.
No, it's not for me.
Well, no, I don't know. It's not for me either. But I'm with you though. I was just thinking, well, why? If you want to do it,
absolutely.
And say there's nothing sexual about
absolutely.
it. It's not that sort of a night. It's just people just feel the need to be free of their outfits. Well, why not?
They also belong to a naturist rambling society called the Stark Trekkers.
They deserve to keep going just for that.
Just for that, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely fabulous. We've got one
Let's
and a
pick a
half
good one then.
minutes.
What have we got?
Oh, I tell you what, should we do a bit of football? Did you watch the football last night?
No, I'm in bed by 8 o'clock these days.
There was no need to anyway, believe me.
Actually, the only thing I don't like football at all, but I did love the Lionesses. And, of course, in the jungle, we do have a lioness who I hope will win.
Oh, that's right, of course.
Because she is fantastic.
You're watching at the moment?
Yeah, I am. I mean, she is wonderful. She is really...
Why?
Because she is funny, she's very bright, she's absolutely goes for every trial, and she's the bookies' favourite, which I'm pleased to say, and I think she's just been the best.
And how's our politician doing?
Well...
He's still in there, isn't he?
He's doing well, you see. I mean, and they're saying in all the papers today, he won't win it. I hope he won't win it, but he will have regenerated his career.
Is that what happens? I mean, you won it.
Oh, my God.
What did it do for your career?
Oh, unbelievable things. I mean, money goes up hugely,
Really?
pantomime fees, everything else, and you're wanted. And still, to this day, people come up to me and say, we just laughed so much when you slept with 200 rats.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a high price to pay,
It is, but I absolutely loved it.
You were game for it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Right, Ella, Christopher, thank you both
Thank you
very much
very much.
indeed. We shall see you a little bit later on.